All right, everybody, welcome back to another Thursday night Krabby's Cards live stream. And tonight we have a very special guest. He has been in the hobby for well over a decade and runs a cardboard empire. Dan from Collectibles. Welcome to Krabby's Cards.
Thanks for having me here. I'm very excited to chat tonight. I've been on YouTube a couple times in the past 24 hours, but why not? Why not go for the three-peat? Lot going on in the space right now as we speak, so it's a good time. It's as good of time as any to be live on YouTube 3 times within 24 hours.
That's impressive. My voice would probably be gone. You might the end of the
I'm going to
stream
be taking a
tonight.
lot of
Yeah.
sips of this. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem at all. Anthony, appreciate you being here and always staying up late. Taco TV, what is going on? Ice the BB, so longest ad ever. Oh, I didn't even know ads were on. I try to turn ads off for the live streams. So as always, guys, drop your questions down below, and I will star them as we go, and we will try to answer every question tonight, like we always do. And I don't think that we will be short of talking points with everything going on in the hobby the last few days. But I'm sure that a lot of those will naturally come up with the questions. So make sure you guys start dropping those down below. Before we get to some questions, so Dan, I've heard you talk a lot on your channel the last few months about just telling people just do something. Whether you're a collector, you want to have a business, you want to be a flipper, like just do something. The state of the hobby and the market and grading and everything right now, are you running your business with any more risk? Because like the way that the hobby is right now and the odds of it slowing down in the next like 6 months is so little, right? So are you being even more of a risk taker right now, or are you kind of just, tried and true, just turning and burning and doing your regular thing and just taking advantage of the hot market?
Yeah, so I'm a guy, a little bit of lore. Like 5 years ago, I went full time. 6 years ago, I paid off my house. I have no consumer debt of any kind, or had. And now I have a little bit of cell phone debt because I got a good deal on a cell phone, and I had to take $1 a month payment for the next 24 months or whatever. But anyways, I'm a guy that's quite risk averse. I talk about my buckets, 401ks and IRAs, and no debt. But back in January or December, because we're booming, because liquidity is functionally infinite, because there's so much money to make buying, selling into this infinite liquidity pool, I opened up a business line of credit, which if you had told me a few years ago, Dan, you're going to open up a $250,000 business line of credit, and not only will you open it, you're going to be using it heavily. Like as sometimes I've done like a little bit of a heat check of the hobby and of the turnover, how we're going. I have a decent chunk of money on my $250,000 line of credit. As we speak, I have $240,000 on it.
Wow.
And what those were a couple 100K collections were just bought on there, parked in there. I almost have that much money in my business bank account as we speak, but like constantly paying consigners, paying streamers, paying and the consignment money never intermingles with buying and selling collections naturally. So
Right.
I'm definitely risk on right now. But context, I'm the kind of guy that always needs to provide context and disclaimers and stuff and pump the brakes a little bit when needed. My 401k is maxed. My IRAs are maxed. All that stuff. All the buckets are filled. No debt aside from business debt. So I feel the need to just, so nobody out there in the YouTube ethos listens and hears, well, Dan's levered up, so I'm going to lever up too. And without having those other underlying things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's such a great point, and I've been preaching it on my channel a lot the last few months. And even as somebody who is just a collector, or somebody like me who's starting a business very at the beginning stages, just trying to feel out what I want to do and what I like, I even tell, just if you're a pure collector right now, if you're not using the hobby to fund the hobby right now, you're doing it so wrong. If you're not, if you want a card for your PC, buy 5 mint copies of it, get the cleanest ones graded, and sell the 10s, sell the 9s off, and have your 1 or 2 copies for free.
Yep.
It's never been easier to fund your collection if you're just a pure collector. And yeah, and then if you whatever extra time you have and whatever extra capital you have, I mean, I'd say the same thing, pay your mortgage, put into your 401k, do the matching, employer matches, all that stuff, and then then put your extra stuff in. And right now it's just so yeah, it's so easy. I mean, it's crazy. But I'm sure we'll get into a lot of the ways the how liquid the hobby is right now is absolutely insane, and we're going to talk about a
Yeah.
lot of this tonight. Anthony, I don't have a plans of starting a rip and ship as of right now, but we'll see what happens in the future. I'm trying a little bit of everything. I did do some rip and ships on Whatnot last year, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I am officially on the books as a business, sole proprietor, all that good stuff, bank account, wholesalers certificate and resellers, all that good stuff. So definitely, I highly recommend it. And there's been a lot of which, Dan, I would like your opinion on this one, because Jar Chomp got some hate for this one, but maybe a month ago, Jar Chomp put out a video. I absolutely loved it, and basically he said, if you have a collection that is $5,000 or more, you're running a small business, whether you like it or not, because once you get into 5,000, 10,000, that kind of money, it's serious money. It's real money to manage. And I don't know if you saw that video and
I
what you
did.
thought of it.
Yep. I've been toning down the amount of PokeTube that I've been consuming lately, but that was when I was in the thick of it still, and I definitely
Yeah.
consumed that one. Um, I largely agreed. I largely agreed with what he was saying, but I also understand why a lot of his significantly broader, larger following took uh issues with it, because I don't know exactly why, but I know it to be the case that some people just, this is my hobby, this is where I have fun. Don't bring in money. Money's evil, money's gross, money's yucky. Don't bring any of those considerations in. But like going back to my origin story, I started as like the truest of true collectors, I would say, but I was a savvy collector, and I knew like I only wanted to allocate $5,000, and only is a relative word. I only wanted to allocate $5,000 to cards. I wanted to build a PC. I had very lofty goals. I wanted to collect like everything for 5 grand. Well, I didn't have tons of money, but at the time I had lots of time. So I put in 5 grand, and as you said, I would buy a big collection, maybe $1,000 collection, when I only wanted $100 worth of cards within it. But what I would do is I'd buy the $1,000 collection, and then I'd put some blood, sweat, and tears into it. Maybe do a little bit of grading, do a little single card selling, and I'd sell off the things that I didn't want, and I'd keep the $1,000 worth for free. I'd keep the portion that I wanted for free, and all of that has snowballed into what I have today. And I think, again, it's been a while. It's been over a month, I think, since Jar Chomp made that video.
Yeah.
But he kind of said, like, regardless who you are, what size you're operating at, everyone has limited cash flow to some extent. Everyone has a finite budget to some extent. So it's only like wise to manage and think about the finance side of it, because everyone wants to take their dollar as far as it can go, whether that's to profit your business and make money and pay your bills, or even if that's just, I have $10 a week out of every paycheck, and I want to get the most cool shiny things that I can get for that $10 a week. Like everyone needs to take into account, or at least should optimize to some extent, the finances behind it.
Yeah, it's just like with regular everyday life, you have to live within your means, and you have to do the same thing in the hobby. You
Mm-hmm.
have to you have to do the same thing. So yeah, no, I agree with all that. Timmy McGee says, name a better modern card than Mewtwo. Dan, I don't know what you think. I love the first movie, grew, as a kid, loved it, everything. I'm not the biggest fan of that card, actually.
I like the Mewtwo a lot. I
Yeah,
like Shining Legends quite a bit. Yeah.
yeah, I like Shining Legends a lot. I like the Ho-Oh a lot. I like the Rayquaza is one of my favorite shinies. But yeah, it's okay. It's all right. What is something you both feel strong about but strongly disagree? Ooh, man, that's tough. I guess I would have to answer this one because I watch a lot of your live streams, and I don't have very much content on YouTube yet. I don't know if there's anything that I strongly disagree about.
Hit me with it.
Man,
There's got to be some take that you at least moderately
yeah,
disagree with my takes on it, you would think.
yeah. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was something that I thought that I wanted to talk about. Um, I'll probably think of it. We agree on the junk slab era thing. That Nick is the one that
Yeah.
doesn't believe in that. Man, I'll think of it. We'll come back to that. Timmy McGee. Timmy McGee also asked, "Do you believe in the moon landing?" I
Oh
do
man.
believe that we landed on the moon. But we'll leave that one alone. D- DJ's Poke Center in the house. What is up, DJ? Appreciate you stopping in on a Thursday night. Now, DJ, this is what do you call it? Crackhead hours? It's too late for you. Go to bed, man. Go to bed. DJ always rags on me for streaming so late. I know he was in yours last night, also saying how late. It's funny.
Mm.
But so Anthony says, I'll say as a collector first, one of the unintended consequences of this boom is while new sets are harder to get than they used to be, the singles I've had for years have exploded in value. Yeah, we're booming everything. I mean, at this point now, Sword and Shield finally started to move. Is there anything that hasn't gone up in the last 12 months? I don't
There
think so.
are few and far between. A few months ago, I think I would be able to answer that more things that didn't go up, but there are things that are flat or down from
Yes.
5 years
Yeah.
ago. Not
Yes.
many things, but there are some.
The
And
Eevees and Pikachu still are.
yes, starting 6 months ago, I started buying a lot of the things that were flatter down from where they were 5 years ago or 12
Yep.
months ago, and a lot of those things that's not true anymore. A lot of those things
Yeah.
have started ticking up. I guess the biggest exception that I've publicly talked about so far, I bought some of the trophy Pikachu's in
Yeah.
the recent Golden and Heritage blocks, and there was a big amount of those available, historically significant amount, relatively more than there's ever been. And yeah, those were lower than I was selling them 4 or 5 years ago. Um, it hasn't been enough time for a card like that to significantly move, but yeah, I think those are still flat or down from 12 months ago, 5 years ago, wherever you want to check from.
Yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense. All right, Timmy McGee, we'll get to yours real quick. I think Dan probably just answered his. What was the last slab you bought? Mine was some 151 PSA 10 full arts, not SARs, just the full arts. I think I got that whole set as kind of a spec. I like the full arts a lot. Dan, was yours the trophy cards or something else?
Those are probably like my boring answer would be I have a ton of stuff on my desk that I'm always buying things, always selling things for the streams and stuff. Like these just came in from a recent thing. Bubble Mew, the
Nice.
Japanese Sunset Mew. So there's always things moving, but I guess as far as things that aren't immediately going out the door within the next week, the trophy Pikachu's would be the best answer
Yeah.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah. Makes sense.
and those were CGC.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Timmy McGee has unlocked the first one of the main topics of the night. So it's been obviously the big news of the day is PSA shut down all of their value tiers today. So now as of June 3rd, which I believe is next, is that what, Wednesday? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday. Yep.
So as of Tuesday, you will not be able to submit any value tiers. So the cheapest card you will be able to grade at PSA is $80. So just what were your initial? I mean, no one was surprised by this. Was there any just initial thoughts before we kind of dive into some other parts of it that you had about it?
Yeah, my initial thoughts is like why so late? Why let turnaround times get over 6 months? I've said in the past 5 years multiple times, like I would be shocked if PSA ever let the turnaround times get that high again, because at any given day, it's simple math. How many cards did we ship today, and how many cards did we receive today, or how many cards were input into submission forms? The day that you start building a backlog is a troubling day. And my memory is not amazing. So like a year ago, 2 years ago, at some point, their longest turnaround time was 3-4 months or whatever. Well, from getting to 3-4 months to 10 months, whatever it is today, there should have been a sooner point where they pulled the plug on it. And as they've done historically, why are they giving us till Tuesday? Like the
I don't
amount of
know.
cards that will
It's
be
insane.
entered this weekend, I would be shocked if it's not 2 or 3 million more cards. They said,
Millions.
they said the current backlog is 10 million cards.
10.
I would be shocked if it's not 13 million, 14 million, 15 million by Monday.
Number one, why I can't believe they put that number out there. That they actually said, "Hey, we have," and was it just Pokemon at 10 million, or was that all of it? I saw
I
somewhere
think
that it
that's
said 10
all of
million.
it, but
Okay,
the
that would make
majority is Pokemon.
sense. It is.
I honestly, I didn't dive into it too thoroughly today.
Yeah,
But,
I didn't either. I just found that out actually right before we went live. I was like, oh, I didn't know they actually said, hey, yeah, because they're grading 2 million cards a month. So right there is 5 months worth of just without anything else.
And that's if they shut everything down.
Everything down.
We don't know. They know. So they know as of last week, they know how many cards per day, per week, per month are coming in at 80 and up. And relatively speaking, it's probably low. It's probably like a 10-20% fraction of all their grading. So in a lot of ways, it's like, oh, hey, you shut off everything below 80 and you stymie 80% of submissions. But in the real world that we live in, some amount of that used to go for 25 and 40 and 50 and 60, people are now going to step up. They're going to level up. So like you might see metrics that make it look like submissions will drop by 80%. They might only drop by 60% or 50% because people might just force those higher.
Yeah.
Very interesting to see how things move going ahead. And I wish we had insight into the actual numbers, like day by day, week by week, month by month.
Yeah, I know. I mean, GemRank does a good job of tracking the daily and the monthly and stuff. I don't know where I mean, they have to have some kind of they have to be getting numbers directly from PSA, CGC tag, because they're to like they say they graded 4.7 thousand cards today. So they obviously they're getting something.
I think for the most part, it's from scraping the pop reports, but they might have
populate.
They might have deeper API access, whatever. They might have some further insight. I'm not entirely sure on how that relationship goes, but theoretically, it's all public information, right? Per the pop, the pop report,
right? Yeah, that makes sense. So what is so shocking to me that was kind of revealed a couple months ago was that 70% of what they're grading right now is TCG. 70%. That is, so I guess sports cards are dead. TCG is king. But I would love to know, and I guess we could figure it out. And by the pop reports, like you said, I would imagine that 70 to 80% of that 70% is probably Pokemon. Because I know Magic doesn't have a big grading scene. I would imagine number 2 is probably One Piece, because One Piece boomed and is kind of booming again. So, but it is crazy. So unintended consequences. Oh, one more thing, quick. I think PSA will do everything they possibly can to at least keep a few tiers open. They do not want to have to shut it down completely because
I don't think they would ever shut it down completely. Like right now, starting Tuesday, 80 is going to be the lowest that ever was. 5 years ago, I want to say, again, my memory is not amazing. I was there. The lowest at one point was either 300 or 600. I forget. And back
it was
then,
the most expensive one, whatever it was, besides walkthrough. That was the only one that stayed open.
Yeah, it was either 300 or 600. And back then, the backlog was 14 million cards. And 14 million is a lot today. It was a lot back then. It was way more back then, though, because today they're grading 2 million cards a month. Back then, they were grading not even 1 million cards a month. I don't even remember what the numbers were. But back then, it was crazy. And it took them a couple years to fully unspool that. And
it's about to be 14 million again.
Though, like in my opinion, it's crazy that they gave everyone till Tuesday because they're going to be vying for the top all time for 14 million. They're going to be going for the crown with that. But Yeah, why they didn't do it sooner? But one thing, as long as they say true to their word, I pulled up the article. They said today the current backlog is 10 million, and they're pausing it. It's going to go up between now and Tuesday by at least a
Yeah.
million or 2 million, I would think.
Yes.
And they said that they won't reopen value tiers though until it's less than 5 million. So they're actually like, they have some benchmark, they have some number. Will they provide us additional updates 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months out? I hope so. Like this amount of transparency, you would hope and you would think that they would do that on a semi-recurring basis. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, for sure. It's incredible. It really feels like Groundhog Day. I was also here 5 years ago as a
Mhm.
pure collector, degenning, ripping everything, and Logan Paul doing box breaks, an anniversary year, PSA shutting down. It feels exactly the same as it did 5 years ago. The
Yep.
one difference between PSA shutting down this time and last time is CGC was not grading 650,000 cards a month 5 years ago. They were brand new to grading trading cards. CGC is a major player now in the grading game, like it or not, which I know a lot of people, for whatever reason, I personally love CGC both as a collector and as a very 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 small Pokemon business. And the liquidity, anybody who says that they're not liquid is not selling them at the right places.
Yep.
So CGC is a whole different kind of factor in this because 5 years ago PSA had no competition basically. What effect do you think this could possibly have on CGC?
I think CGC in the coming 3 to 6 months will get substantially slower and substantially more expensive. It's very easy, and I'm someone who always, when they're in need of criticism, I will be there to criticize any of their grading companies. I am very critical of all of them. I think they're all consistently inconsistent, all the things that I always say. But PSA sometimes, I think it's unfairly stated that they're opening the door for their competition. I truly think that they could do it better. I think 5 years ago they could have done it better. I think today they could be doing it better. But I don't think, I think some people out there think that if PSA had done it properly, they would be grading cards for $10 a card, and they would be able to grade all the cards for all these true collectors. And I think the unprecedented surge in demand, the hobby growing at the rate and at the lengths that it did over the past few years. Look at Pokemon's printers. Look at all the grading companies, their turnaround times. Like it truly is unprecedented. It truly is impossible to fully and wholly manage on their own. Like, but so again, I think they could have done better, but I think it's a little bit crazy to say PSA fumbled it so hard that like had they like they birthed CGC by their incompetence. I think they made it easier for CGC due to their incompetence, but I
Yeah.
think growth of the hobby, someone naturally was going to be able to come in, and CGC very arguably has fumbled their opportunities multiple times over too. It's like
Hmm.
and that said, they're still booming. They're still doing amazingly. I actually use CGC substantially more than I do PSA in this current market.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm at 100% CGC. I used to be maybe 40% PSA. I would send higher end stuff to PSA, and I would kind of send any card that was $5 to 50, $5 to 100 was great for CGC. But now I'm just gonna do everything. I'm even gonna try some. I've never dabbled in first to market stuff.
Mhm.
I really want to try it just once and really be on top of it. But I know Earn Collects does a lot of that, so I've
Yep.
been inspired by him. But that it's a dangerous game. But I think that it could work with CGC at least for a short time. I think it's going to be a short window, but I think there'll be a shot at it. So we'll see what happens. So the hobby bin had something interesting here, which shout out to the hobby bin. And actually, Dan and I, along with Rusty over at TCA Gaming and TJ over at It Was Never a Phase, we are all doing a collaboration with the hobby bin right now, and they are giving away an Ascended Heroes ETB. And actually, Rusty just threw in another Ascended Heroes ETB today into the giveaway. And they're also giving away 10 gift cards to, I believe it's TCG player. So I didn't put it in the link in this description. If you go to any of my last couple of videos, I have the giveaway in my description. So make sure you guys go check that out. And there's 50 people here, so I want to say this again. Drop your questions. I have been starring questions, guys, so I'm not skipping you. Drop your questions, and we will get to them in the order that they were asked. And so, yeah, the Hobby Vinod here says, they think that they want to take last-minute submissions to lock in some long-term profits without having to stick to a strict turnaround time. That is an interesting part of it. You do FOMO a couple million extra cards in there, and you kind of have some guaranteed cash flow 6, 8, 10 months from now.
My take, and again, like I don't know which is optimally better. I haven't put a ton of thought into this. But like, why lock in only $25 a card when if you had immediately done it, maybe not 80, maybe say, hey guys, today the new lowest is 50 and Tuesday is 80. So you kind of stage some in. I feel like there's a way to play with the numbers. Only with hindsight would you be able to have an idea for what was better, what was worse, and you'll never be able to know. You only get one shot, right? Like you make one policy change, you make one date, you make one new minimum price, and then you run with it from there. But I truly think after the influx of what they're going to get this weekend, which I think is inevitable, they might have to go a little bit higher than 80. They truly might have to go a little bit higher than 80. Or they're going to substantially miss their, because again, in this press release they did today, they said that they have a sub 5 month target to get to where the value tiers reopen with less than a 5 million card backlog. And I don't think you get there if 4 million cards come in this weekend. And then if, again, they're probably doing the basic math of like, hey guys, we're only getting 200,000 cards a month or whatever at 80 and above. Well, that might not be true anymore when 80 is the only option. That's only true because you have 5 tiers below that or 4 tiers below that, whatever it is. You can theorize at what the new steady state will be, 80 and above, but we're booming, baby. And like they might get half as like it might go from 20% above 80 to like 50% above 80. Like, they might truly only lose half of their volume.
That's crazy, which is crazy.
And I think it's one of our later topics, but some of the upcoming sets, I'm not a big sports guy, but like in most of the volumes, Pokemon, but big sports sets coming out, big Pokemon sets coming out. Some people just have to have that red hospital band. So there's going to be a lot of cards going. McDonald's Pikachu a year ago, not quite a year ago. I forget when that was exactly, but that proved like, the pop report went to 6 figures within a shorter time frame than bulk. So those people weren't sending those cards for $25 a card, $19 a card at the time. Those people were sending those cards at 50, 80, 100, 150 and beyond. I just did it with the first partners. Someday those first partner pops will be 6-figure pops, very likely. And I spent 150 a card and I sent them in, and my auctions just completed the other day. $500 a piece, $600 a piece. It's like, it's so scary. It's so crazy. Less people will be doing it because the price of entry is more expensive, and it almost makes it more rewarding to be one of the few doing it.
Yeah. Wow. You think those will be 6-figure pop 10s or just pop in general?
I think 6-figure pop 10s. I haven't. Wow. I don't know how many are graded currently. I think when mine hit the pop report and then I got the grades and I sent them to the vault, I think there was only a few hundred of each at the time because again I paid $150 a card. But let me look that up quick because I'm curious now.
That is interesting. I was going through some pop reports recently, and I was shocked at how low some modern cards were. Like 151. Pop reports on 151 are really low, which surprised me. A lot of cards are only in the 4 figures, which is like, I mean, in 2026, if you're only in the 4 figures, that's really low. So for tens in the 4 figures, but and then you have Sumbreon is also, but that I guess that card's pretty hard to grade. The gem rate's not up there. the A Hobby says, you get that black label, you can retire. If it's the right card, you just might be able to.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got a very notable one in front of me that
Yeah.
that recently in Black Label 10
Yep.
did some big silly numbers.
Yeah. All right, I got all the questions started. I'm going to go back up here to the chat. I forgot to ask. So anybody who's asking a question from this point forward, if you could put a stop sign if you're asking a question, that would help me greatly. I forgot to say that at the beginning. Put a big stop sign, all caps, makes it a lot easier to find. Bronze, thank you so much for the raid. We did get raided by Bronze God. I really appreciate that. This Sunday, I'm going to be on an episode of Sunday Conversation with Bronze God. So make sure you go give him a sub and check that out. And he's got an amazing backlog. He interviewed PokeNE and Alex Nostalgianomics. So Rob from RNG Games, he's got a really cool thing podcast going there on Sunday. So make sure you go check him out.
I just looked up that Charmander quickly.
Yes.
There's still only 388 PSA 10s. But like one thing you need to keep in mind, the only cards that would have hit the pop report so far they were ones that were graded at 150 and above. Only lunatics like me. I forget how many I sent, but I think 20 of those 400 are me.
Okay.
Like I sent a bunch of them. And like 150 a card. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane on a card that is like, what is that raw? $30 or whatever, spending 5 times the card value on grading the card.
I think they're up to like 50, 60 now, but
okay.
which is, I think the set goes for about 150, 140. And the sequential, if you hit a sequential, it's just stupid. Earn collects. He said that he is going, I think he was serious. He's going to try to get all 27 sequential after Series 3 comes out.
Entering that submission would just be the end of me. I would have to leave the hobby then. I could not enter. Presumably, you're going to want to send 20 sets. So you're going to.
He said 10. He said 10. Yeah.
270 entries instead of some like 27 entries. I could never.
Yep. It'd be nice if you could just batch them and then say, hey, as soon as this card gets a 10, I don't want the rest graded. Go to the next card.
And honestly, depending on who you are, I think something like sequential certs is one of the, not to yuck other people's yums or whatever, but I think that's one of the sillier things in the hobby.
Agreed.
Because like it's literally, there's been times in the past 12 years that I've graded cards where I've sent like 100 in some certain order, and then they change the order and the certain numbers. So it's like, it's so arbitrary. Some people would say, oh, that's another layer of chase. I just say that's another layer of delusion and insanity.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with 100%. I mean, I just never even would have thought of that if it wouldn't have like became a thing. Like who looks at the cert number? Of course, if you're looking at 5 certs, 6 certs, 7 certs, if you're looking at eras, like that's different when you're looking at vintage cards. But what do we get to? 14 cert now is what we're up to now. But
this Charmander that I pulled up is like 15 cert. Yeah.
Oh, is it 15? Well, that makes sense. It's gonna keep. Yeah, I mean, we booming. It's gonna keep going. So I can't find the rest of his question, but he did also ask about this one. So we might as well go to this quick. I don't think we'll have much to say. 10 billion cards. The way that I looked at this, processed this was, they did 11.9 2 years ago. Last year was 10.2, and this year was 10. Everyone's like, they're printing less. It's on purpose. Like they're purposely, short printing and all this stuff. I think what happened is, 2 years ago, things weren't as popular. They probably just rented out more space to One Piece or whatever, a sports or something. And so more of the printers were just taken up by other entities. And that's what happened. I would imagine next year will be closer to that 12 billion mark probably. But it would seem like 10, 11, 12 is probably close to the max capacity that they can do with their existing facilities. And I just think that kind of is what it is. I don't know if you had any other takeaways from the numbers. I was a little surprised that it was lower the last 3 years. Like it's going down as we're going up. but it just goes to show, I think it probably takes about 2.5, 3 years to correct the print runs.
Yep, and like I agree with everything you just said. Like a couple of years ago, I think it made more sense because part of that fiscal year that was captured with that year-over-year drop was there was some time in that window where Scarlet Violet cases were $500 on eBay shipped. So
Yep.
it's like they were reeling in the print because and they were doing that intentionally, consciously, because things were like too cheap and too available. And when they're too cheap and too available, demand goes down because we're all kind of a little crazy and we want it because we can't have it to some extent.
Yep.
But yeah, they have other. I don't know the inner workings of this, but presumably, even though Pokemon owns Millennium Print Group, they have other contractual obligations. Do they do like I don't know how this works. Like when they do a contract or whatever with One Piece or with Lorcana or with Magic or whoever, is that what's the industry standard? Is that 2-year contracts, 5-year contracts, 10-year contracts? I have no idea whatsoever. But that's a very logical thing, and I was definitely surprised by the 10. But what that
Yeah.
tells me is that truly is like that is the limit. That is the limit of what can be printed. We don't know the numbers either. It would be really cool to hear. Was there 5 billion Magic printed? Was there 3 billion? Was there 8 billion? There's Magic, there's Yu-Gi-Oh, there's Lorcana, there's One
Yep.
Piece. Like all these things are vying for the same printing capacity. And some of them are printed in Japan. And so I don't know the intricacies of all that. And some of Pokemon's 10 billion is printed in Japan. And like that's all of it.
It's got to be, it has to be half, right? All the other languages combined. I mean, Japanese.
That's the age-old question. Yeah,
Chinese,
no idea.
I mean, there's probably a million just Burger Chews alone. That's just one Japanese promo. There's what 350,000 just graded alone. I mean,
yeah,
a huge chunk of that has to be other languages. So, and then when you start breaking it down per pack and collection boxes and promos and all that stuff, it's actually not that much, which is why, supply and demand. The other thing that I thought about this was, with the sealed aspect of it for Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet era. I do think that a lot of, maybe this is something we'll disagree with. Over the last 6 to 12 months, I truly believe that a lot of the 5 to 10 investors, the holders, I think they don't put it out there publicly because then there'll be a paper hander. But I think a lot of them have sold their collections to rip and strippers, to streamers, to you, to Alex, to rip on streams. And I don't think there is as many people holding sealed as the consensus thinks. I think there's a lot of people doing it, but I think that more has been ripped in the last 18 months than has been hoarded.
That's another one of the age-old questions is like the unstoppable object versus the immovable object versus the unstoppable force, these unprecedented print runs and these unprecedented amount of consumption and investing. And I don't know what's ultimately happening. One, we get some different bits of insight. One bit of insight is like operations like mine that are ripping hundreds of thousands of pack in a year. Another one is the PSA Pop Report, which Rudy made some really weird video recently where he was tinfoil hatting that like PSA is making up Pop Report data and they're not actually grading 2 million cards a month. Like that was wild to me. That was way out of place. Like I don't understand how he would even say those words out loud. But not to steer it into a random area, but I look at the Pop Reports. There's tens of thousands of these cards that are one in thousands of packs, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 2,000 packs. Like do the math on that. That's millions and millions. Oh, you had one. Or did you just type that in?
I just typed it in. I do, because I have something to say about it as well. Sorry, finish what you were saying there.
No, that's yeah. Like if you look at a Moonbryon and 20,000 of them in the pop, and it's a 1 in 2,000 pull rate, like 1 in 2,000 packs. That's how many boxes, how many packs, and what percent aren't graded. You go into every Collecticon, you go into a lot of LGSs. There's raw Moonbryons everywhere too, and there's tons graded. You could get into other conspiracies, that Fusion Strike thing that happened years ago. You could say that like, no, when there's 20,000 Moonbryons, only 2,000 of those were pulled legitimately, and the other 18,000 are the backdoor funnel from Millennium Print Group straight to PSA.
Yeah.
Now that, see, if Rudy said something like that, I would say I don't think so, but that is a more valid thing than what Rudy said. Like, they're that's crazy.
It was that whole video that he said that in the hour and 20-minute video, basically like a Rudy movie. I love Rudy. I enjoy his content for years and years. He is very out of touch with a lot of things in Pokemon, and it's not his, he doesn't have a passion for it. He's not in the weeds. He
Yep.
interacts with it in a very different way than most people. And some of the things that he was saying in that video, and that he said more recently, it's gotten worse. It's just so funny that he had the realization that all these slabs are going to the mystery packs and all this stuff, and people at the shows are buying them all up, and it's like, yeah, that's been going on for about 2 years now, pretty heavily, Rudy. Like that's
Yeah.
interesting. And yeah, he was tinfoil hatting some absolutely crazy stuff, and it's one of those things. It's like he doesn't have to know these things. It doesn't really pertain to his business at all, because he's just gonna whenever he wants to. Which actually, in that same video, no, it was the next one. He actually alluded to leaving a large majority of his empire and his sealed product to his son. Like he made it sound like he's not going to just offload everything, before he retires or, whatever. So I thought that was very interesting. Like I said, I like his content. Did you see he's starting a podcast?
I heard that, yeah, in one of his
Yeah.
other, he's dropped some very long videos recently.
He
Yeah.
has. Well, he said he said he's going to do 2 to 3 just long videos a week now, instead of like kind of a daily 30-40 minute one.
Yep.
That will be interesting to see Rudy in that environment, like a controlled, with the setup and kind of a back and forth with somebody.
Mhm.
I got wind. I don't know if they want it said, but I got wind of somebody who's going to be on with him, and it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be exciting. So, um,
Yep.
but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that was the Rudy was not planned, but we'll go back to this one. But yeah, no, I don't think I really have much more to say with it. I think it's kind of just things will stay relatively the same supply wise for the next 12 months. I think it's going to be relatively the same. So act accordingly.
Mm.
But all right, so let's go to some star questions here. Does Dan like Destined Rivals? Dan, do you like DR?
I'm very easy to please, and I think it's a good set. I mean, I heard some crazy YouTuber saying a year ago that he thought it was going to go under MSRP. I don't know who that guy is. I don't know how he could show his face anymore, but it's a
I
good
never
set.
said I never said under MSRP, but one of my first videos, actually, it's the video that got my channel on the map. I guess it was my first viral video, or one to hit the algorithm, or whatever. And I said that people were insane for buying boxes at 350 to 400. At that time, it was only 7 or 8 months old, and
Mm.
I sold all mine at 400. I sold all that I had. I have like 2 ETBs and a build and battle display, or something. And
Mm.
odds are, even if late this year, next year, we do get any kind of decent sized booster box reprint, it'll probably get eaten up. Distributors will probably charge $400 or $500 a box for it if market price is
Yeah.
1,000. Which, what do you think? Do you think Pokemon should rein that in, or free market capitalism, baby? Let it rip.
I think what's inevitable is, well, many things are inevitable if we continue down this path, but MSRP has been increased in the past couple of years. There will be multiple more increases in the next few years if this insanity keeps happening.
Yeah.
And even though there's only been like one increase to MSRP, presumably Pokemon is probably getting a little bit more out of distros, maybe more than one instance. I know that distros, to my account, I've had multiple steps up. Even though MSRP has only had one formal increase, I went from paying 90 to 92 to 95 to 98 to 100 to 105, and I'm paying like
Yeah.
108, 110 a box through certain distros.
That
Which,
that that's gonna
when
raise
they
the
come out and
floor.
they're 200, it's like, whatever.
It's great.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so let's say they go another 50 cents a pack or even $1 a pack. That brings it up to 172, 173 or something. And then if it goes up a buck, I believe it's like 199.97 or something. Or no, I think it's 181 and 199 or something like that. So then distro, the on release goes up to what, 110, 115, 120. That floor is raising. That there we go. There's one thing I do disagree with you pretty heavily. I do not think we'll ever see a booster box under $100 ever again. Do you still think it's possible?
I know. So this is an important distinction. I know it's possible. Do I think it will happen? I lean further towards no, but I know it's possible. That's where, like, it's semantics, blah blah blah, whatever. But like I say that even though by outcome, people a year ago that said Destined Rivals guaranteed will never go under MSRP, even though by outcome they are very likely, they are currently correct, and they're very likely to end 5, 10, 20 years from now, look back, they were always right. I was always wrong saying that it could go. But like fundamentally, this is a very important distinction. They are just entirely incorrect in saying that they guarantee, because they have no means to do so. They have no knowledge, they have no ability to say those things and have. So even though outcome is correct, their lack of thinking that leads to them to guarantee something they cannot guarantee could not be more wholly incorrect.
Yeah.
So
no,
like, I know that sounds like nitpicky, and it sounds, oh, Dan's just, he's just sour that he was wrong about Destin, and it's not that whatsoever. Like it is very crucially important that people realize that I know that it could go sub 100, but do I think it will? That's a very different conversation entirely. But you will find tons of people, oh, guaranteed it's never go, no box will ever go below 100 again. That's lunacy to say that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I agree. I think that there's a new floor set if the market continues to act the way it has in the past with the ebbs and the flows. It actually leads really great into the next question. Chad asks, when the bubble eventually hits a ceiling someday, do you guys think it will be sudden or will be a gradual decline? I actually have a very strong opinion on this one. I will let you go first, though.
So the longer, again, this lunacy goes on where people think they can guarantee certain things, and they think like I've heard so many times people say the worst case scenario for ascended ETBs in 2 years or 3 years is $500. If people truly believe that and continue believing that, I've said this many times and I'll continue saying it, the logical price to pay at release for the next good set like Ascended, you should pay $400 at release. If guaranteed it's going to be 500 2 years later, you should pay way more than we're paying today. Ascended Heroes is cheap right now at 180 in ETB if it's guaranteed to be 500 worst case in 2 years. If I believe that, I would have so much more than I do. And the scary part is that some people do wholly, with all of their being, they believe it. And the only logical outcome of that is like paying more and more and more. You've seen nothing yet. Like Destined Rivals is only 700 on its birthday. There will be boxes within the next couple of years, if this lunacy continues, that are $2,000 before their first birthday. There will be ETBs that are $500 before their first birthday. And then if it goes on that long, the fall will be very drastic. It will be very quick, and it will be very hard. I don't think it's going to get there, though. I don't think we'll see a box that hits $2,000 within its first birthday. I think what's more likely going to happen, and I think it's already happening to some extent, Evolve Its Guys has been flat for like 6 months. I think so far, like, gains will be pulled so far ahead on multiple items. Maybe Ascended ETBs in 6 months or a year are 300, and then they'll spend like 4 years at $300. And maybe it's not Ascended, maybe it's a set a year from now, whatever the case may be. But people will realize that things just don't double every year. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I had somebody ask me, do you think this can all keep up? And I did the math on 20 years of tripling for the 151 PC ETB. It would be $3 trillion in 20 years. Like, this lunacy cannot continue. And the amount of people that I hear saying That like I'm looking to double my money every year. Well, sure, if you have $100, you can double it in a year easy. If you have $10,000, $100,000, $1,000,000, you can even double $1,000,000 in a year. But at some point, those things start to fundamentally break, and they can't just happen time and time and time again.
Yeah. Evolving Skies is an interesting case study. It's ticking up at maybe a tad $100 or so, but it's going on a year of being flat. Like it's like August last year. It's crazy. So I'm in the camp of, I think it is going to be a very gradual decline, almost so much where it's not even going to be realized by a lot of casual people who interact with the hobby casually. I think that Pokemon will slowly start to print more as much as they can. They will start to ramp up, and inevitably after the 30th anniversary set, after the Rayquaza set, there will be more sets that aren't as hyped and aren't as popular. There'll be more perfect orders and stuff like that do sit for more than a day, and I think that things will just calm down after the 30th anniversary set. After Winds and Waves comes out, new generation, people hate the new Pokemon, although they do have a lot of time to like the starter, since they revealed them over a year before the game comes out. So
Brout,
that was interesting.
I'm bullish on Brout.
I'm a Brout fan. I really, if the leaks are true, I like the final evolution of him a lot, actually. But
I'm see that.
Yeah, I accidentally saw it. I'm on Team Gekwa right now, but you got to see the whole line first. But I think there is a world where things actually do have a gradual return to. I hate saying normalcy, just where things are, but where things are more available. There's not booster boxes going to $700 within the first year that they're released. Just some kind of more normal market, not the scalpers are less, the crime and the fraud and all that stuff. That's always going to be here, but less rampant. Because things are nuts right now. The drama channels. When you have what's his name, Moist Critical, I think is his name. Like, he's got like million. Like, he's doing a Pokemon video every other day, and it's getting millions of views. Like, as long as you have that, the lunacy is going to keep up. And but things like PSA, the things that are happening again. It's like Groundhog Day, and people thought that Celebrations was going to be, I think they were like $200 in ETB when they came out, and craziness, and they printed a lot of it, and 6 months later you could get an ETB sitting on the shelf at Walmart. So, things can happen faster than people think, but I don't know. Nobody knows, but that's half the fun of it, right?
And that's one key thing is, like, I know that I don't know what's going to happen. I know that there's a very wide range of plausible outcomes. There's a world where Evolving Skies booster boxes are $5,000 in 12 months from now. There's a world where they're $2,500 in 3 years from now. There's a world where, and we've seen it. I know it's different and everything's different. People just always say everything's different. Hidden Fates ETBs were flat for years. Vivid Voltage booster boxes were down 60%. 5 years after they were $300, or 4 years after they were $300. Like, these things happen because people get way ahead of their skis. People get way overconfident. People just get crazy, and people are getting, what is that? Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. It's not even necessarily greed. It's just like ignorance and just insanity. I don't know how to state it better than that. It's a little bit scary what's going on.
Yep. The 10 starters are good, bullish. Oh man. All right, let's see here. Timmy McGee. Predictions have confidence intervals. What predictions do you have in Pokemon that you believe have the narrowest confidence interval? Example, Dan's 151 packs from 8 months ago. What was your? Did you make Crown Zenith? No, I remember Crown Zenith. You were. Got for that one.
I don't know if it was 8 months ago. I was buying 151 from February of 2025 maybe it was until like almost September of 2025. So it might have been, I was buying them for like $9 a pack. I didn't know when, but I said on multiple live streams that like one day you're gonna wake up, and I was talking more 5 years out, not like 8 months out. I was like, one day you're gonna wake up and this is gonna be a $20-$25 booster pack. Again, Pokemon always exceeds or often exceeds expectations. I didn't expect it to be 8 months, 10 months, 12 months later, but here we are. But
Yeah.
what do I think is honestly in today's market as we speak right now? I talked about this in my live stream last night. I don't think there's an S tier investment. I would have classified 12 months ago. I would have classified $9. I would have classified $9 151 as an A plus tier investment. Go back 15, 16 months ago, I would have classified $4 Crown Zenith as an S tier investment. And that one's panned out to be S tier. Many other things have panned out to be S tier in hindsight. But like the only one that I would have and did, the receipts are there. Go back and look at my videos. I would have identified Crown Zenith. That's probably the last time loose packs of Crown Zenith for under $4 a piece is what I was paying. I would have called that S tier. I don't think I've bought anything since that I would have called S tier. 151 at 9 was close. I would have called that A plus tier probably. I think I actually did. I'm not a tier list guy, but several months ago, I think I made a tier list of like Pokemon investments. Let me see if I can find that and pull that up.
Did you? I don't remember that one.
Yep.
That would be.
I'll see if I can find it.
Did you do the chart that everybody uses with the S and stuff? I don't know how. I'm sure I watched
July.
I forgot.
July 2025 Pokemon investing tier list. So I actually have it inversed, but again, this was July. So by July, Crown already had gone up a lot. If I did it in January though, so in it's funny. So my S tier, I'm looking at it right now. My S tier was 151 Fusion and Evolving.
Ooh.
So there's two different things though, and I would have told you in this video. I would have told you the packs of Evolving have done well in the past 12 months.
Yep.
Not as well as a lot of other things, but the boxes are relatively flat. The packs have actually outperformed the boxes relatively significantly, I think, in the same time frame. But that's what makes this fun. What makes it fun is like we have no clue what's going to happen. It's all wild and crazy in every direction.
And I definitely have not a hot take, but there's a lot of people disagree with collection boxes and tins and all that stuff. And yes, they take up space. They're awkward. They're not great on a large scale for sure. But I like the cases. I like sealed cases of collection boxes that have a promo that is unique and like an illustration rare or Charizard. Yeah, anything with Charizard. The tins, like the Paldean Fates tins, sealed cases of those have done phenomenal. There is some. So I'd say that was probably that would be mine for this to me, McGee. I actually really like the what is Alex call them, the auxiliary products. So, but yeah, and I don't know. I thought about this when you were talking. So Dan, you probably don't know this, but in January, February, I sold off a ton of stuff. I sold off some X and Y boxes, some Sun and Moon boxes that I've been holding on to for 7-8 years, and I put it all into Ascended Heroes. I put
Nice.
10K. I put 10K into Ascended Heroes. My average, I scrounged and scraped and got every deal that I could. And shout out to Anon. I'm a part of his program, so that helped a lot. About half of it was from him. But my average was about $9 a pack, and
Nice.
I felt really, really good about that. And my thinking was, because that's what made me think of it. You said there's no S tier investment. When I see 2 Pikachus and a Charizard and a Dragonite and a Mewtwo, and I'm like, it has like 5 of the most popular Pokemon of all time. The print numbers that came out did give me a little more confidence. It's like, okay, you know what, Pokemon, just stay at that 10 million for or 10 billion for the next 2 years, and then Ascended can go out of rotation, and then you can print 20 or 25 a year. But but no,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just one of those things. And for me, it was like I don't know what my short-term future holds for what I want to do with my business aspirations. Maybe I'll want them for, Anthony said earlier, a rip and ship. Again, no plans right now, but maybe then I have some inventory, and that's what I've been doing the last really 6 months. I've just been trying to build a big inventory at the best cost
Yep.
basis I can. That's really what I've been trying to do, because I only have time to put about depending on the day, 1 to 3 hours into the hobby per day. So I really have to utilize my time well. And with doing YouTube now the last 4 months, that's taking up a lot of the time as well. So,
Yep.
uh,
And Timmy, I do realize that I failed to answer your
oh,
question. All the words that I expelled, and I didn't even answer the question. I think the closest thing I can find that I have the narrowest confidence interval on performing well, and I would have to go more like 12, 18, 24 months and beyond. Sub 12 months is very difficult, but I significantly prefer, as of today, I significantly prefer prismatic over ascended. I'm buying them pretty similar in price, but I'm adding a bit more Prismatic Evolutions ETBs, Prismatic Evolutions booster bundles, and Prismatic Evolutions loose packs. I think I have more time on the loose packs specifically for the live streams on Ascended, but ETBs and booster bundles, I have added some of those as well.
yeah, nice. All right. How do you feel about the Sam's Club Cosmos Hollow Gengar promo from the 151 mini tin boxes? I stacked up on 80 of them for 15 each. Thoughts? I like Gengar. I like Cosmos Hollow foils. I don't know what the price is. I don't know what the PSA 10s are going for. I would imagine that the gem rate on that is tough because it's a promo in a tin. So
Mm.
it's probably pretty tough to gem. So it sounds like a good play. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really make plays of that nature, so like I'm not saying this with a big position in them or anything, but yeah, I just I don't like doing it with singles as much as I do with the actual sealed product. So, uh, yeah, I would look into the gem rates. I would look into how many are being graded. There's certainly a lot of them. But one interesting thing, if you're buying them right, like I don't know the price history of this either. If you're buying them right when the products are coming out, you have tons of botters that are buying these products in mass that don't give a crap about them whatsoever. So if you have the ability to get a decent deal of a bunch of them in volume at a time, for a decent fraction of what market price is, I like that a lot more than like I don't know if you're buying these full market price plus sales tax, that whole rant that I go on sometimes. I would like it a lot less if you're paying 110% of market than if you're paying 80% of market.
Yeah. Oh, it's this one. I didn't realize it was this one. That
Okay.
that's a good. I like that a lot. It's already raw, going for about 25, 26 bucks. So
There we go.
I think it was a good play there. Show San. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm very bad at pronouncing names sometimes. All right. Anthony asks, do you guys think that the $5 to $15 illustration rares in temporal through surging are going to surge post rotation next year, like most IRs from Scarlet Violet Base Paradox did this year's post rotation?
They definitely could. Again, like these type of singles are just not something that I've really had that much interested in investing, speculating in. So it is news to me, honestly. As this comment is read, assuming that's true, like I didn't know that SV based to Paradox IRs surged in price post rotation. It's something I'm aware of. I'm aware of that there's this rotating calendar and there's this code on the bottom of the cards and the blocks that they rotate in. It's just not something I put that much energy towards personally.
Yeah, the only way I usually interact with this is I made a play on the Nine Tails from Obsidian Flames last year. I bought 25 copies. I graded the cleanest copies and 10 a couple, got my cost basis down to nothing, held the rest for a couple months again, and then it like doubled in price. And actually, Dan, I just sent them through you to CGC Fanatics grading. I 10 three of them, three more, which was awesome. I'm gonna do very, very well in that play. So I will do little things like that. on ones, again, popular Pokemon that if you can get $5 to $15, the risk is definitely very low on something like that. The upside is much higher than the risk. So that's pretty much the only way I interact with illustration mirrors. I do know that a lot of IRs have been getting bought out recently. You'll see 3 sales a day, especially Black Bolt and White Flare. You'll see 2-3 sales a day on TCG Player for 3 months straight, and then one day just 100 will go. So that's definitely been happening, which is no surprise, whatsoever. So
Yeah.
PokePlane, with PSA closing their lower tier grading, how does the market now compare to the last time this happened around COVID? I wasn't around then, so I don't know how similar or different it is. PokePlane, we talked about this pretty in depth at the beginning, towards the beginning of this of the stream here. Yeah, we kind of covered all parts of this. So yeah, PokePlane, go back and you can go rewind or replay it tomorrow and see. We did a whole thing on that. What predictions? Oh, that's oh no, I guess it's a different. What predictions did you have the strongest that fell flat within Pokemon? Yeah.
Honestly, like I gave over a 90% chance that Destined and Prismatic and all these sets would be available under MSRP. It's recency bias, but it's also like it's one of my biggest misses. Like I missed into things that performed as well, some of them better. But like I attributed over a 90% chance to that, and that's falling pretty flat.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I'm not a huge prediction guy. A lot of ones, I actually did do a prediction video like 2 months ago, but it was for the end of the year. I can't remember all of them, but one of my predictions that I could definitely be wrong on in the future is PCETBs. I think they are the best collectible thing that Pokemon produces right now, sealed wise. And I don't think that those will ever just sit on Pokemon Center again. Even if there's a big downturn, I think there's enough just pure collectors that love those and will buy 2 at release. If the limit goes back up to 4 ever, you get a sealed case. That nobody knew that like 2 years ago. Not nobody, but most people didn't know that you got a sealed case if you ordered 4. If they would ever go back to that 4 limit, I mean, back the truck up for me with PCETBs at MSRP. Look at the history of them. So that's one that I feel really strong about. But we don't know. That's one that we'll kind of never know until it kind of goes into eternity, right? If it could happen 10 years from now or something. But yeah, I haven't made any huge. I'm not a huge prediction guy, so I can't think of one off the top of my head.
PCETBs are just something I have like a personal vendetta against because Collector Boy Dan, one of my prized collections, one of my like bigger goals and one of my bigger like claims to fame, I would say, from my collecting days, I had a complete ETB collection. Not many people can say that. Going all the way back to Plasma Storm, all the way up through at the time, mid Sword and Shield. Chilling Rain, I believe, was the first PC ETB they came out with, right? If I'm remembering correctly. That spoiled ETBs for me. I am not a big variant guy. I used to always hate how they skipped. So they did Plasma Storm, and then they skipped Plasma Blast, and then they did they skipped Plasma Freeze, and then they did Plasma Blast.
Freeze.
And then they did XY base, they skipped Flashfire. They did Furious Fists, and then they decided like, hey, Phantom Forces, we're gonna do one, and we're gonna do one for every set moving ahead instead of every set.
Yeah.
I was always annoyed that they skipped the sets in the early days, but it's like, it's over and it's done with. When they started making a new variant, it's like now I've got to collect double for all these, and then they started doing it more frequently where they do 2 colors of them, and I'm not a variant guy. I'm like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. I'm selling all my ETBs because of this variant nonsense.
I like that I love when they do them different, especially when they were inverse the color scheme. Like I like that. What I don't like is like Ascended Heroes. It's exactly the same. It's like zoomed in like a little bit, like 10% or something. The inconsistency, and Pokemon is known for that across the board with products. The continuity with their products is so bad. I mean, they've
Differing
changed the
amount of
sizes.
packs, and the sizes of the bundles are insane.
Bundle
Like
three
there's the
three
square
different.
ones.
The square
There's the
ones are
square
the
ones that are
worst.
flat.
I don't like these new ones either. These new what I got over there. The new ones, they're taller, and I guess the packs
Yep.
fit, but I don't. They don't fit
Why?
into the box that I
Why?
used
Like,
to keep my bundles in. They don't fit now, and it's
yep.
like, oh my gosh, yeah,
At,
they're known, yeah.
at one point, I had every pre-release kit, and they would change the names of what they were calling them, and when they change the configuration, when they add all these variants, it's like that just sours it for me. And shortly after Chilling Reign PC ETBs came out, I'm like, that's it, I'm done. It was already like a wall of ETBs.
Mm-hmm.
I barely had a space to like show them off or whatever, so that was part of it too. Like, I naturally would have gotten there, but they doubled the burden of like additional volume per year, and it's like, I'm tapping out, I'm done.
Yeah, I wonder how many people. I know that Robo Skills, he has. Shout out to the Card Lounge podcast. He has
Yep.
every single ETB ever, and he has that huge wall of them that he has in the Target cereal boxes.
He ended up finishing that because I knew he was pursuing that.
I thought
I,
maybe
I,
know
I,
he
I haven't
got.
listened to a Card Lounge in the past few episodes, but I listened to like the first 60 or of them or whatever.
Yeah, I know a few months ago he picked up one of the ones that was like 4 or 5K. I thought that was it, but maybe he's close. If not, he's very close, very very
Yeah.
close. But I've not seen anyone else on social media at least that has anywhere close to the amount that he has. So
Yeah.
that is an exhausting. I mean, if you wanted to start from scratch and do that, I don't know if you could. The old ones were printed so few, and they were just all ripped, I'm sure. I mean, no one was really keeping those. They were not a popular product when they first came out.
No, they were only doing it, like I said, they were only doing it every other set. I'm
Yep.
gonna see if eBay even has a Plasma Storm ETB. Back when I sold it a couple of years ago, I sold my Plasma Storm ETB pre all this insanity and boom and stuff. I sold mine for like $3,000, I want to say, or four, and that was a crazy number at the time. I
Wow.
see a sale on eBay for, that seems low, 10.1 thousand. It looks like it was an auction. I see a buy it now of one for 16 though. That feels more like what I would have
Wow.
expected it to be.
Yeah.
This 10.1 thousand, it's a DC Sports auction. It has a sticker on it. The wrapper's torn. It looks really ugly. So
Yeah.
it's like somebody just checking off the box, completing it, and it still went for over 10,000.
Yeah. Interesting.
Crazy.
There, Dan, how often do you go camp outside of stores? Like every other weekend, or
Never. Yeah, I actually, my wife a time or two has like found stuff in the wild and grabbed it, and she brings it home, and it's like why? Like we have it out there. We have 50 of them. It's like, oh well, I just wanted to get them for the kids to walk out into the garage and grab something and have the kids open it. I just, the optics of it, I don't want to be any part of that. I don't want someone taking a picture and not.
That's a possum bud. KetchumAllCollectibles.
Yeah, like I don't want to. Like, I did go when the Target drop happened. I actually have next to me. I didn't buy any spares to scalp or anything.
Okay.
I love this stuff. I love that this was like exclusive Target drop, like merch type stuff. So at stores, I will buy Pokemon shirts and merch and plushes, but and people won't believe me when I say this. If I walked into a Walmart and they had an Ascended Heroes ETB for $50, $60, whatever they are, I would not buy it. Yeah. I would not buy it. I would move past it. I would look for, like, hey, go check out the Pokemon aisle. Like there's money to be made there.
Right.
But I would not engage.
Those Kanto jackets are going for $300 or $400 on eBay now.
I would have bought one for me if they were still there, but there was only like 4 in my store, and the first 2 people I think took them all.
Oh my gosh, I personally, I'm a '90s kid, but man, I don't know. I think they're goofy looking.
I, I, I don't love the look of them, but like I had so many different starter jackets growing up,
Yeah.
and a part of me wants to go get scalped on one. I actually just pulled them up on eBay. They're only $210. I mean, I think original retail was like 140 or 160 or something plus tax. I
Were they
might be
that
stupid.
expensive? They were that expensive at retail?
I have a picture
Wow.
somewhere on my phone. I'm probably not going to try pulling it up, but original retail of I want to say they were 140 or 160.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
N-
So to be
Uh,
only 200, they're not. Yeah,
that's not
129.99. So
okay.
130. If you sell for 200, you're making $40, $50, but like
Right.
with clothes, the odds of someone screwing you over on the buying side, like
Yeah.
that's just not worth it, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. Negative EV. Just
Yeah.
saw Ascended Heroes PCTB case sold on eBay for 5K. If this is true, if this gets verified as paid for, which in case anyone doesn't know, you cannot if that's sold in the last day or two, you have to make sure you verify that it's paid for because eBay's sales reporting is horrible. Um,
Uh,
if that actually sold for 5K, what's Prismatic gonna do? What like I I have a case of Prismatic that I've been thinking about throwing out there. So that's
I
I'm guessing that
see.
was a buy it now. I'm guessing that was a buy it now, not an auction.
Yeah, I see PCETBs on TCG Player going for like 500. I thought you couldn't even get an order quantity of four.
Well, exactly. There is some out there.
Okay.
A couple surfaced, and everyone was like, "These had to be backdoored or something." I got lucky with Prismatic, and I was working from home that day, and they went live, and it was quantity four when they went live, and I got the case within 2 hours. They had put the limit down to two, and then
Yep.
they were gone. So I got really lucky with Prismatic. That was a year and a half ago. It's crazy, but
Nuts.
yeah, the sealed case premium. It's been the sealed case premium has been all over the place with different eras, and sometimes stuff doesn't. Sometimes like ETB cases now of just regular ETBs are a huge premium, but then you have some sealed cases of booster boxes that don't have a premium. So
Yep.
yeah, it usually takes some time, but
I actually got myself cooked. I needed some like not sexy booster packs. I was just like entirely out of Scarlet Violet base. I was entirely out of like Paradox Rift. I put them on my hot buy list. I put the packs on my hot buy list at like 80 to 85%. And I had somebody hit me up with like sealed cases because the sealed
oh,
cases were at that much of a discount that I was basically paying like 98% on sealed cases or something crazy.
oh no,
Um, but I stayed true to my hot buy list. I terminated it after that deal was closed. But
okay, yeah,
yeah, like historically speaking, cases used to be like at a discount for the first several years.
right.
These days that's not as frequent, but it does
Yeah.
pop up from time to time.
Yeah. No, for sure. Speaking of sealed, with PSA shutting down grading, do you think sealed prices will come down? The avenue of being able to open a box and break even a profit from it by grading is going to end for a little bit. Um,
I
you go ahead,
personally
Dan.
I don't think that will really happen, but the issue that we run into is like there's so many moving parts that you're not going to be able to suss out. If steel drops 10 to 20% in the coming 6 months, we won't be able to suss out, is that just the market deciding, hey, $700 for a 1 year old booster box is too much, let's cool our jets a little bit, or is that due to PSA? Like that's my take. I lean towards no, but like we won't know regardless.
Yeah, I don't think that grading and I mean, obviously they're correlated because sealed product has to be open to get singles, and singles have to be graded to get slabs. So there's obviously a chain reaction, but
Yep.
I don't think anybody who's ripping to hit chase cards, I mean, graded or not, if you're just ripping to try to get chase cards, it doesn't matter if they're graded or not, they still have value. I mean, and then there's other platform. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really thought about it before.
Yeah, it is an interesting thing. I hadn't really
Yeah.
given it thought, but I guess I'll have to stew on it a little bit longer.
Yeah. Would less people rip? Because how many people do you think on your streams? Because I've actually thought about this a lot. Because I sit in streams from time to time. One, just to try to get a gauge of how many packs are being ripped, but also just to see hit rates and stuff. When
Yep.
a when a set goes dry for a while, when PK rips 100 packs of Ascended and no SIR comes out, how many people are going, okay, like I'm gonna hit 20 packs now, or you only selling 9 pack, like 9 or 36 or whatever?
I think people do that. Yeah,
I think they do
gambler's
too.
fallacy. They see
You're
black
right.
hit 5 times in a row and they bet on red because it's
Right,
due. Yeah.
exactly. So if you have a large segment of people doing that, if those people are doing that and then they get those hits graded to get back a lot of the money that they spent, does that stop somebody from doing that? I don't know, but
Impossible to say. And
it
going back
is.
to our
Yeah,
theory earlier,
yeah,
are these 10,000 pop reports, are they actually coming from packs or are they just some back alley
yeah,
deal coming from the print?
yeah,
I have no
yeah,
clue.
yeah, exactly.
I,
But a
I'm
good
gonna
thought-provoking question.
I'm gonna go video off for a second. I got to run to the
Oh,
bathroom really quickly, but I'll be right back.
yep,
This
yep.
sparkling water is going through me.
No worries. We'll go to the live here. Um, Appreciate 82 people in here. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a Thursday night. Hit that like button if you can. Really appreciate it. Drop your questions, guys. I only got 2 questions left. Put a stop sign. Ask away. Ask Dan and I anything you'd like. We need a couple more questions. We're only an hour and 21 minutes in. Probably going to go for at least 2 hours. So ask away. Appreciate all of those that are here hanging out with us, having some good conversations. Hobby Bin still in the house. If you haven't entered the Hobby Bin giveaway, go enter for 2 Ascended Heroes ETBs on the up for grabs now. So that is really exciting. People who are going to buy cards to spec on grading could end up buying sealed on the flip side. Oh, that's interesting. Hobby Bin, that's an interesting. I've always wondered how many people are specking on graded cards because that is such a dangerous game. I've never really. I've done it very short term. I've spec'd on slabs and pretty much only PSA 10s. If you have a bunch of man, although I think that people could spec on graded cards even more now. Yeah, with PSA shutting down, Dan, what do you think about that? Do you think that there will be some inflation on some graded stuff now with the wait times pushed back so far?
I've heard some sentiment for sure that like, oh hey, the new floor for grading is $80 starting next week. So like all
Yeah,
these cards are just gonna have to go up to $80. All the like that's a dangerous line of thinking. I truly don't know how things will settle out, but it'll be very interesting to see.
yeah,
Theoretically, for the next 6 months, like it, and I'm sure you could search PSA 10 Pokemon on eBay. Theoretically, anything under $80, you won't be able to replicate that. At least
yeah,
for the one exception being there are 10 million cards at PSA.
yeah,
So like some amount, most of those, probably 8 million of those 10 million are probably being graded for $25 a card. So
yeah,
like those still will be coming out. People will still be needing cash flow, all those considerations. But that's what makes all this so fun is like there's so
yep,
many moving parts. Everyone has all their own thesis and place your bets.
yep. No, for sure. Uh, Dan, can you elaborate on why you're siding with Prismatic over Ascended?
The same reason that I sided with 151 over Prismatic a year ago, because Prismatic is over a year old, Ascended is only a few months old, and I just and again nuance matters. Um, if we're talking like ETBs and time frames matter too. I'm talking more in the 6, 12, 18 month, maybe 24-month time frame. I drastically like Prismatic packs over Ascended Heroes packs. If talking ETBs, I still like prismatic ETBs over Ascended in those timeframes because I'm pretty confident that as I did this year with prismatic ETBs, I got restocked like 60 prismatic ETBs at 99 bucks a piece. I think I will get that for Ascended sometime in the next 12 months. I can't guarantee that. I don't know for sure, but it happened with prismatic and it wouldn't shock me to happen again. So it really just comes down to time. Ascended is so new. It is so new. 151 isn't even that old, but it's I just like prismatic. I think they're both great sets. You've got the god packs, and uh you can make an argument for both god picks being better than the other one, depending on what your preferences are. But yeah, that's my underlying thing is like literally just age. A year ago, prismatic packs were like 13, 14 bucks. And then several months later in October, I bought them for $7 a pack. The market went from 14 in early spring, late winter of last year. Prismatic went from 14 a pack down to like 9 a pack, 8 a pack on the open market by November. And maybe Ascended, it's different this time, but blah, blah, blah. We are ripping more Ascended than we ripped Prismatic last year. Maybe it won't go down to 8 or 9. Maybe it'll go down to 10 or 11. But like in that time, I think prismatic will more likely trend up.
When I was selling off some stuff and building some liquidity and getting ready to deploy it into Ascended Heroes, that during that time is when the prismatic ETB reprint happened. And I thought about it. I had already probably spent about half of it on Ascended, but the ETBs dropped to what, 150, 160. Retro, shout out Retro Specs. He was selling some by the case, by the loose, and I thought about pulling the trigger on prismatic instead of Ascended, but because I was able to get some sealed cases, and now it was some collection boxes and poster collections and stuff like that, but being able to get it at an average of about $9.50 a pack, that's the reason that I went with Ascended over prismatic during that time. So I think that both of our thinking in those moments is correct, and I agree with what Dan just said. I personally I like Ascended better. I like the opening experience better. I think that does matter for rip and ships to a certain extent. Now I know prismatic was ripped to oblivion as well, because you have the god pack chases, like everything you just said. But I do think that Ascended Heroes appeals to more people than prismatic. Like prismatic, if you're not an Evolution fan, but Ascended just hits, and it hits Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 7. Like there's all kinds of so but yeah.
One thing I'll add to close that one off is I always say we're all in the same arena of Pokemon, but we're playing very different games by very different rules, very different goals, all that stuff. If you're talking 6, 12, 18 months, I lean heavily prismatic, especially if you're talking loose packs. If you're telling me that, like, Dan, I want to buy 10 grand worth of prismatic ETB cases or 10 grand worth of prismatic or Ascended ETB cases, and I'm going to hold them for 10 years, and I'm not going to sell anywhere before or after. I'm only going to sell it at 10 years. Well, now I pick Ascended because you changed the rules. I'm not playing by those rules, though. So, like, I prefer prismatic for the game that I'm playing with my rules. My rules are that I have two 12-year-old distro accounts. My rules say that I think there's a high likelihood that I get restocked Ascended Heroes ETBs and I don't get restocked Prismatic Evolutions ATBs. So that's me. That's my take. That's my rules for my game. You are different than me. Your game is different than me. Your rules are different than me. So always need to give those disclaimers.
Yeah, for sure. With the news with PSA and tag halting several grading tiers, how do you both think this will affect existing slabs on the market with raw singles? Will PSA contenders start flooding the market? Oh no, we did talk about this a little bit just a couple minutes ago, but Dan, I don't know how you feel about this. Nothing will make me block an eBay seller quicker than if they have a raw card listing and they have PSA 10 as the first. Blocked immediately.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that drives me nuts. I'm sure that there is still people doing that all the time. It's like, grade it yourself if you think it's a PSA 10. You wouldn't be
Yep.
selling it to me if you thought that. But tag, yeah, tag. I did hear tag halted. Actually, Dan, did you hear somebody in I forget, on, I think it was on Discord, said that CGC actually pushed one of their wait times on just submitting directly with them to 6 months for bulk. Did you hear anything about that? I didn't check into that at
I
all.
I was pretty tapped out. I'm usually very into Discord and all that stuff. My daughter had a field trip today, so I was at the zoo with her. So I was trying to
Nice.
behave, and even though I was getting some text messages, I was getting pings in Discord, and I didn't dive too deeply into it. But yeah, it
Here's
would not be shocking. We're hiring.
CGC breaking news. We're hiring. CGC is preparing. I love it. I absolutely love it. They are and go.
We're
If you
booming.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that we have season passes to the zoo where I live. My daughter absolutely loves going to the zoo. It's good times.
Yep.
This is my last starred question. I do have another topic yet that we haven't talked about yet. So anybody else? There's 90 people in here. Appreciate you all being here. Ask away. We're only at an hour and a half. I'm good for at least 2 hours. So ask some more questions if you got them. Thoughts on Ascended Heroes booster bundle displays? Do you think supply will dry up fast enough that they will take off, or is it more of a 2 to 3 year hold minimum? I think card hype that booster bundles are one of the most primed things for a reprint at any given time. That they have to be one of the easiest things to reprint. I would personally not be buying those specifically to hold for 2 or 3 years right now, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I mean, I think we could get a lot more booster bundles in the next 2 years of Ascended Heroes.
Yeah, and I think so. I didn't get any. This is another thing that drives me crazy too. Like back when 151 hit, I have a master case of 151 booster bundles. I have 6 of the displays in a case. Um, I think with Prismatic, I didn't get any of the booster bundle displays. If I'm understanding the
Yep.
question properly, it's the sealed thing with 10 booster bundles in it.
Oh, I
I
missed that. I missed
I
that.
think they
Yes,
only
yes,
come out
yes.
international now,
Europe, they
or
are. Yep.
I hate that they do that. I like
Yep. Me too.
again the lack of continuity. So again, like I'm not setting aside a ton of sealed product for like collector reasons these days. I do have story. I have 151 booster bundle displays. I have Paldean Fates booster bundle displays. Continuity reasons, if I was a collector, it would drive me bananas that like I have to go online and I have to buy prismatic from overseas and like I don't know why they do that stuff.
I don't
All I have
either.
are 25 count sealed cases of Ascended Heroes, and which for me, the investor, the cold-hearted businessman, they serve the purpose. I don't care.
Yeah. I know that the Netherlands has their own printing facility now. I believe that is only maybe 12 to 18 months old that opened up. So all of the EU and I would imagine German and all those different languages over there are all getting printed over there. Um, but yeah, why they wouldn't do the displays for over here? It's I loved it as a collectible thing, and just as a sealed premium was nice, and there for a while with Paldean Fates, there was some nice arbitrage that it didn't last very long. It lasted until Rudy made a video about it, and then the play was over. But
And
it's
and
yeah,
they're going for double. So
yeah,
first thing that shocked me was that Ascended Heroes booster bundles are $90.
mm-hmm,
That's the first thing that shocked me. And then the
yep.
second thing that shocked me is that these displays are going for $1,800. They're going for almost double what and maybe that's the buy it now. Maybe the auctions are a little bit lower. But they're going for like double what the obscenely priced booster bundles are going for. Like we're booming.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man. Like Ascended is more expensive than prismatic. That is why I like prismatic too, because
for certain,
again, like
yeah.
just
I
some
don't
people
think
get
is that.
way too
Go ahead.
into like price needs to be proportional to the quality of the set, and that's all that matters. Ascended Heroes is better, so it has to be worth more. Like age does have to matter to some extent.
Yeah.
Scarcity does have to matter to some extent. Not saying
Yep.
that prismatic is scarce, but the fact that it's older, that does have to matter to some
Yeah.
extent.
No.
And people just feel like the only thing that matters is art. The only thing that matters is how much people like a set, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, Rebel Clash ETBs are an incredible example of that, because not only do you have a really weak set, but then you have the ETB that has a Pokemon that no one knows on it, but it got printed like almost nothing because it happened right in the middle of the pandemic, and I think those go for 350, and they're not that old, 5 years old. Like it's yeah, those are a tough ETB to get if you're trying to complete that collection. Um, but J Dub says Mega Evolution booster box is a good buy at $300. I do not think so. I don't think so at all.
In context, I don't think so. But a year ago, I also didn't think Destined Rivals was a good buy at 250. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do I know?
It's just I can't. It's in rotation for another 2 years. I am still in the belief that we will get some kind of booster box reprint. That is one tinfoil hat theory that I am starting to have a little bit more of a belief in, is they are not reprinting booster boxes like as much as they used to, for sure. They definitely used to have a couple waves of them. I mean, Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, we got 2 years after a significant reprint of booster boxes of those sets. Obviously, everybody knows about the Chilling Reign and all that stuff. But SV era even did not get, there was a tiny Obsidian Flames, Paldea Evolved one that came through. Actually, that one may have just even been a restock. People weren't sure, but it is going to be scary if Pokemon does just do wave 1, wave 2 booster boxes and then ignores them and just hammers booster bundles and collection boxes and all that other stuff, because you almost have to then completely separate booster boxes as a separate collectible sealed thing, and then everything else and for the pack price. And because just look at the difference between Destined Rivals and what were you paying this week? $850 a pack for Destined Rivals.
Yep.
What is that?
And
300 a booster box? Like,
yeah, it's insane.
I mean, yeah, that's 306. So like no one's selling their sealed booster box for that or case.
No.
So yeah, things, and that's what happens in a boom and during these crazy hype cycles is things get out of whack. Like things don't correlate with each other. That I remember that happening, and that sometimes breeds opportunity. Sometimes that makes things more risky inherently. But yeah. Jump back to the live chat here. We'll hear while I do this. Let me pop up the last thing that I had on my ticker there. Dan, what do you think about? We got the news today that there will be 30 unique Pikachu cards in the 30th anniversary set.
I mean, I want 30 Pikachus, I want 30 Charizards, I want 30 Gengars, 30 Mewtwo's. Like, skip all the fluff. Just give us the good stuff.
Yeah, all
Inject what we want directly into our veins, and it sounds like they're doing it with 30 Pikachus in one set. Too much? I say not enough.
I mean, there better be one with a hat, one with clothes.
Oh yeah.
There better be a booty chew. There better be a chunkachu. There better be, like, do all of them, like different.
We got to do it all for sure.
What I'm really curious of is, let's say that they print 30 million booster packs of the 30th anniversary set in English. Is there going to be 1 million of each Pikachu, or is there going to be a chase one? Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm very curious to see how they're seated, and 'cause you get one in every pack. You have a
Yep.
Pikachu in every pack, so they're
I
going to be
would
plentiful.
presume they wouldn't be equal rarity. I would presume there would be a chase tier to
Yeah,
it.
I
But
agree.
yeah.
Unless they make it just the base, like with celebrations, it was just like you got the same three cards in like every pack, and then
Oh yeah.
there was like
Yeah.
one card that was the variance, either the just the regular celebration collection or the whatever the common one. But if you get one in every pack, it's obviously going to be very common. So yeah, that'll be interesting. And then we'll see what they do with some chromium. I have a hot take. I absolutely hate the reprints that they do for the anniversary sets. I wish that they did unique artwork and a unique set. I'm not a fan of doing the classic collections with a stamp. It doesn't do anything for
Yep.
me.
I that base set Charizard artwork, that still hits for me. It's kind of a meme. I say it mostly memeing, but also there's some truth to it. Print me another every 5 years. I want that base set art Charizard artwork again and again. At some point, give us a full art reimagine. Give us like a little bit more creativity with it. But we cannot get enough.
I really enjoyed the evolutions regular hollow and the reverse
Yep.
hollow. This one looked good. This one did it for me. I thought it was cool that they updated the stats on it for the current gameplay and stuff like that.
The power creep.
So it wasn't really a true reprint like one for one. So I enjoyed evolutions. But the stamped ones, yeah, I don't know. It's we'll see if what they teased. I mean, if they're really going to do Crystal Lugia and all those, it's going to go nuts. People are going to go absolutely bananas. So
Yeah.
it's going to be
And look at
interesting.
celebrations. Like I don't remember exactly what it got down to, but I know that I was buying a lot of celebrations at some point for like $5 a pack. And all those bulk hollows were like nothing. Those were
Mm-hmm.
nothing. The Charizards you could get for 50, $60 for so long, and then they went to 100, and now they're like hundreds, and the tens are several $100s.
Yep.
That card, man, the amount of those that I bought and graded, absolutely insane to see that thing going several
And
$100.
how long that stayed a play for was
It it probably still
insane.
is today. At
It
this
still
point,
is.
I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, it's that card is so easy to 10, and the
Yeah.
premiums are just stupid. Like,
It is stupid.
uh,
And you know, it's funny today. So anybody who missed Pokey Flips today, go back and watch it tomorrow. But that story, that what was his name? What was his
Legends
name?
Lugia.
Legends Lugia. The story he told about buying, like basically blind buying a raw
That
crystal
was awesome.
Charizard off of, that is wild. And
Uh,
he ate PSA 8. That is there's opportunities on TCG Player like crazy, not plays like that. That's incredible. That was, yeah. Go back. I won't tell the whole story because I don't want to butcher it, but it was incredible. But
yeah.
yeah. Um, um, but yeah, 30. I can't wait to. I'm gonna go for the 30 sequential Pikachu's from the 30th anniversary set in a row.
I wonder if it'll be like a subset, like if they're labeled 1 through 30 out of 30, if they're like a trainer gallery, Galarian gallery esque subset or whatever, shiny vault.
Right. Yeah. Will they all be half arts? Will they all be full arts? Will they all like what? And like this, I still, these are actually some of my favorite. This is from the 25th. I
Yep.
really enjoy this with the 25 different Pikachu's on it, and they're all from different eras, and that'll be cool. It's, they picked a good mascot, that's for sure. I'm glad
Yep.
that they did not go with what was it going to be, Wiggly? Uh,
Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff. It was gonna be, yeah. I
Yep.
Pikachu was the right choice for sure. My mouse is no restocks ascended. If there are no restocks on ascended, it could be an instant explosion, and apparently all focuses on the 30th. I heard this rumor. I don't know how true it is. It was going around that Pokemon only prints the 30th anniversary sets during the actual anniversary year. So like hypothetically, they started printing it in January 1st, and on December 31st, they turned the printers off for the anniversary set, and that's it. I don't know why they would do it that way. I mean, I understand they'd probably want to only release product for a certain amount of time after the 30th anniversary, but I remember celebrations trickling out at least a year after,
Yeah.
if not longer.
This is one of the things that I just file under like that's noise. Nobody knows. It's a rumor. I don't make drastic decisions based on stuff like that. It would be quite unprecedented. I think
Yeah.
sure you have specialty sets that haven't had drastic amounts of reprints. But one thing that kind of kills me is like people will just always say it's different. But people will say it's different except for when it fits their narrative or whatever. Like Dragon Majesty is like indicative of a good specialty set. Like people that say, "Hey, there's been specialty sets before that didn't get significant further reprints. Look at Double Crisis. Look at Dragon Majesty." But then the same people, when you say like, "Oh, well, hey, people used to guarantee it wouldn't go below MSRP and Vivid Voltage," well, oh, you can't make that comparison because it's different this time. Well, it's different when they want it to be, and it's not different when they don't want it to be. Stuff like
Yep.
that is very scary. I told an anecdote last night of like people just have biases that they try to reinforce. So always be careful if you're just trying to like reinforce some bias or narrative that you have.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. I agree. Ice the BB. Asked your question again. I can't find it. He said,
I scrolled up a ways and I couldn't find it either.
I could. Yeah. Yeah. So Ice ask it again. Just by everything. Yeah. Oh, was it? Oh, was it? Somebody said it was. No, I think it was. Yeah, it was Jigglypuff that it was going to be.
But, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to compare. Rest in peace. What? Did Joe? Is that? Are they just trolling or is that real?
I think there's people just trolling in chat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You guys are. Yeah. Okay. So I don't have any more star questions unless Ice the BB if you want to ask your your question. So I'm starting to get used to StreamYard here. It's nice. It just takes some getting used to. This is the first like time I've really used it in its full capacity. So but yeah,
the Ditologist says that missed their question too. If you had a question that was missed, just drop it in the bottom of the chat right now, and we can get to it.
Yeah, I apologize, guys. I was trying to star as I went, but like I said, I am definitely new to this. So Chaos Rising, did you get any numbers on Chaos Rising yet? Did it sell more than Ascended the first week?
Oh, definitely didn't sell more than Ascended, but it definitely sold a lot more than Perfect Order.
Yeah. I was shocked
Yes.
that Alex said that it sold more than Ascended for the first weekend. That's pretty crazy.
That I attribute that to like small sample size, anecdotal data. I would be pretty shocked if that was a universal truth across all live streams. Definitely was not the case for our live stream.
That's true.
One exception though, now that I say that, we did sell very few Ascended the first couple days, only because do you remember when Ascended came out?
Oh, two-pack
it was
blisters.
3 packs and 2 packs, and then the 2 packs got delayed.
That's
so
right.
I think it was only either 3 or 2 pack blisters. My entire Wave 1 allocation on release day of Ascended Heroes from 2 distros that I've had for 12 years, 6-figure annual accounts. I got 300 packs of Ascended Heroes at launch. So maybe crazy. He was being cheeky and he was comparing because like he sold out of Ascended. I don't know exactly though.
Yeah. So Ditologist, with Pokemon investing in printing facilities and PSA investing $200 million in infrastructure, what makes you most excited and most fearful for what the hobby looks like in 3+ years?
I'm the most excited for just I've been long on cardboard. I a lot of the graded stuff I fundamentally don't agree with, and I think we've lost our minds and lost the plot a little bit. But that's why I say short plastic, long cardboard.
Yep.
But I like that I'm reinforced in my belief that like this stuff is here to stay. Institutional money is here But the institutional money that goes into building infrastructure, building printing, building grading facility, that stuff is good. If and when institutional money starts investing in the actual boxes and in buying, hoarding, investing, not consuming, that's where it gets scarier. So I'm fearful that like genuinely at some point people might start institutionally investing in the sealed product in unprecedented fashion. Um, that would be scary. I'm scared. I'm scared for some people out there. Like 5 years ago, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to watch people guarantee that Vivid Voltage that's $300 can never go down, and then actively, I was selling it to them. I was selling $300 Vivid Voltage to people that were guaranteeing it wouldn't go down. I was saying I fundamentally don't agree with this. I don't think that is true, uh, and then to what, like some people genuinely got destroyed. I sold people $8,000 base set unlimited PSA 9 Charizards. I sold a PSA 9 Shadowless Blastoise for $10,000. I sold countless PSA 10 first edition. And Dan, how could you do something so evil? Well, I also sold $300 Destin Rivals booster boxes a year ago that I thought would have the same fate. I thought they would. So the reason that I did it is because I don't know what's going to happen. But like I don't know when. I don't know if it's with things that I'm selling today or if it's with things that I'm selling 6 months or 18 months from now. But I'm as confident as I can be that at some point I'm going to sell stuff to somebody who doesn't have the money to afford it and they will lose 50% plus on their money.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel good. So I'm fearful for when that happens again. I see it as inevitable on a long enough timeline.
Yeah, the hobby giveth and the hobby taketh away. I would hope that those people that were being the loudest about Vivid Voltage, they just had one box or two boxes, and they're kind of like people now that are saying, oh, maybe not, but yeah, it's
Most
once
of
you
them
really,
probably were, to be fair, but there were
yeah,
definitely some
but
people that
there was
got wrecked pretty
some that
good.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, if they held, they made like 40% this year, right? Did it, I think it crossed 300. I think it crossed 300.
Well, no, they're
um,
like breaking even now,
Breaking
finally,
even
after
after,
5 years.
yeah, right, yeah. No, you can't even get 95% payout from Baltimore at that price yet. You got to wait a couple more.
Yeah.
Oh, are you? Is there what as? Oh, sorry. I will answer this question, Ditto. But is there anything? What's the most illiquid thing to sell right now in the hobby? What do you have the hard time getting rid of?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Um, yeah, like it cannot be understated how much liquidity there is in the market right now. I think the thing, like of all things that I own, the thing that I would be most hesitant to just dollar auction and let it rip, let it fly, would be my trophy Pikachu's because I just got them. They're in a period of unprecedented availability.
Hmm.
The drought between 2014, one thing that made me so excited for those trophy cards when I first sought them out between 2014 and 2020, there were like two or three auctions, maybe 2016 and 2020, because I wasn't looking at them closely yet in 2014. There was like less than one auction of a full art trainer Pikachu per year in that time frame in that window,
Wow.
and we just had like 40 auctioned in the past few months. That was there were more auctioned in the past 3 months than there were auctioned in the past 12 years prior to that. Um,
That's crazy.
so that's why I deem that to be a pretty good buy time to pick them up. So a card like that on the heels of what just happened, I would be, but anything else, everything and anything else, I would feel full faith at just full YOLOing in auction. And I'm not gonna get too beat up on it at all. Like we are liquid right now.
Yeah. Wow. That's yeah. That's it's interesting. It is scary though too a little bit. And you go to these shows. So I'm going to New Jersey Collecticon for the first time. It'll be my first Collecticon in
Yep.
July, and I'm very excited. And I've been to tons of card shows, local and some pretty decent sized ones. But I'm interesting to see if I'll have a Rudy type epiphany when I go and see the hobby in a whole different way. But yeah, that's interesting. Is there anything exciting that you're working on? all you,
That comment was funny.
all you guys do is talk to each other, just do some FaceTime or
Almost the
something.
entire 2 hours, there has been a
Yeah,
question on screen that we've been addressing from the chat.
been addressing. Yeah, I didn't know if I don't recognize John Parker from my
No,
any of my stuff.
I don't
That
recognize
is
them either. I think it's just a troll.
that is hilarious. I actually just for the first time had to use the band hammer
I
on two
I
accounts,
saw that.
and I hope I cleaned
Yeah.
up all of the everything. But yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah, here's one that we missed from that. This one is a troll, but I know this person. Dan, can you explain to Krabby why CGC is king? He is way too biased in his love for PSA. This is false, absolute blasphemy. Um,
My genuine, very subjective opinion is that I strongly prefer CGC's case and label and everything.
absolutely.
I think PSA's label is like not it's not it. That
The
said,
pristines are gorgeous. Love them.
yeah, I like them, but like honestly, I don't think there's any slab on the market that adds to the card. I think every card is better, just the card. So
Yep.
I think every slab on the market will always has, always will detract from the card and its artwork.
Yeah.
I think PSA is one that detracts the most. I think CJC's looks a lot better, but no, I'm true binder boy for like my actual PC.
Yeah, you're a lunatic. You don't even penny sleeve them.
Raw is
That's
Arceus intended.
crazy. That is
Raw into a 9. I'm all
that,
about the 3-ring binder. That is
oh
as
no.
Arceus intended.
That's okay for MetaZoo, but for Pokemon, Pokemon deserves better, Dan.
This is
Yeah,
my
oh no.
childhood cards. This is as Arceus intended.
And
Raw,
oh, the Charizard right on the 3-ring. The Charizard.
these ones actually are penny sleeved, so I need to take these out of their penny sleeves. But that is my childhood Charizard that Santa got me back in 2002 or whatever.
Yeah, So interestingly enough, I never had a binder for my childhood cards. So when I found them as an adult, they were all they were all just
like
raw, just sitting there. It wasn't a shoebox. It was like something similar. I don't think many people do this, and I've actually never showed this before. I have my two right here. Well, there's my Blastoise. I got them graded by CGC.
Very
and
nice.
I like them in the I like the Blue Label CGC a lot. And there's here's my two Zardis from when I was a kid. And my thing was at the time it was so cheap, and I'm just like I want to get them encapsulated, and then they're exactly like they were when I was a kid.
$7 a card or whatever back then, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was $7, and and so I never had a binder as a kid. I just when I found them as an adult, then I had sleeved them up and put them in top loaders and had them that way. But I would imagine Charizard, he's number 4, so he probably went into that slot right by the ring in a lot.
Attrition is good for the hobby. I mean, it makes collectibles more valuable over time.
Yeah.
So my son, we do like the advent calendars where every day in December they get a little gift. So what I do is every December they get the 25 most recent sets. It's getting painful how expensive that is to do. But this past December, my son, when Crown Zenith came, he pulled the Mewtwo. He pulled like my favorite card from one of my favorite sets of all time, Crown Zenith. And that card is raw in his binder. That card is. Wow. I looked it over. If he ever wanted to sell it, I would just buy it from him for PSA 10 price. As a raw card, I would keep it raw. Wow. That card is a PSA 10 though. Like Crown Zenith graded really easy. I looked it over. Did. That card would 90+% chance be a PSA 10. Yeah. He's keeping it as Arceus intended, raw right in the binder. His is a 3-ring binder though. That one's in one of his it's like the Ultra Ball, just the soft binder.
The new binders are really nice. They make it very easy to put everything into a binder for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, so this is easy, crispy. Dan doesn't have any collection at all. It's all inventory. So
I've
I
got
so I
long-term inventory. Yep.
I
Humans
will.
by default.
He has a shiny Gyarados. That's all. That's all he has. As soon as
Oop,
yep, there it is,
upside
upside
down.
down. As soon as that gray felt hat Pika behind him hits 10K, he's YOLOing it guaranteed. So
I
oh
probably will. I probably will.
oh, another one came in. Dan, you mentioned being bullish on AI positively impacting your Pokemon business. Besides card scanning software, what are some other ways you see AI benefiting your business over the next few years? That's a great question.
Yeah, so I have a fair bit of workflows that are just like tedious, monotonous, like spreadsheeting type stuff. And my consignment operation that I do, I've more than 10x'd the amount of cards that are being sold every week in the past year. And my workflow has reduced by like 80% to do 10 times plus the volume of cards. And
Wow.
not that's not really AI, but AI helped me build it. AI helped me build the automation basically. I might have been able to fight my way through building it without it, but it was a big helping hand in building what I have. And what I have is like fairly archaic. It's just some Google sheets that link over to other Google sheets, but things like that. I have a little bit of a dashboard that I built myself that pulls in, and again, it's not an AI dashboard, but it was built with AI that just helps me keep an eye on the things that are more relevant to me, the booster back prices, the things that are relevant to me. So it's more like just an ease of interacting with the information that's valuable to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. You know, the optimizations that have happened in the hobby in the last just 2 years are incredible. And as AI optimizes the whole world around us over the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, that stuff is naturally going to overflow into the hobby as well. It is wild how, and this goes back right to the beginning of the stream here, about do something like
Yep.
interact with the hobby in some way, shape, or form. Um, because it's so easy. There's so many outlets. There's so many tools that Dan didn't have when he started in 2014, right? Is when
Yep.
you kind of started, like, so much manual parts of the hobby that I mean, if you there's ways that you can have a business or just fund your collection that you have to do almost nothing. I mean, if you can source just the CGC Fanatics thing, is the there's no what do you call it, frictional, what's it that you call it, just frictional,
Frictional
it's
frictional fees I talk about a bunch,
oh,
but
okay, yeah, there's no, it's so easy. Like, you
yeah,
can send them in penny
it's
sleeves and
insert cards and withdraw money. Like, and
literally.
so many of these apps, like Card Ladder and TCG Player and Rare Candy and Misprint and all these apps that allow you. Years ago, you used to have to go to eBay and you used to have to look up a price, and the last sold would be 2 weeks ago, and you like now cards are selling 100 times a day, and you can look them up on your phone and you can instantly see what the last 10 sold were and the market price, and you like listing to eBay is another thing too. You can buy a binder and you can list 1,000 cards in an hour with titles and scans and
Yep.
estimated prices done. Like the amount of opportunity out there is just absolutely obscene. You can go in any metro area with like greater than 50,000 people. There's probably a show every other weekend, if not every weekend. Actually, this Saturday, local to me in upstate New York, it's going to be relatively small. There's probably going to be 20 or 30 tables or something. But like there's a show this weekend that I'm going to go check out at a new venue. Like it's every weekend people are like 90% of the population is probably within 100 miles of a show every other weekend at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
And having that liquidity, having that ability to go and sell or buy or engage in whatever way you're engaging is crazy.
And going to shows and getting relationships with vendors is one of the best things. It's one of the best things I ever did. Yeah, my card show, that's the big one that's local to me, that's monthly, used to be 40 tables, and then it was 80, and now it's 120. And there's a wait list for you. They're booked the whole year. It's wild.
Yeah.
So Pokemon has collabed with sports a couple
Yep.
times. They didn't with Shohei Ohtani, but they did. They put I don't know if Pokemon was involved in that, but a player had a Charizard on his bat, I know. And then they do some promo cards. They did a basketball card at a game last year. It got scalped like crazy. Well, in fact, I think was that the one that got stolen? There was one promo that they were going to do, and it got stolen before the truck got robbed. Like, that's it's wild times. But yeah, that would be, I'm sure they'll keep doing more stuff like that.
And I will say too, while you're on that one,
I'm trying to. There we go.
Look up the 2021 Project 70 Topps Shohei Ohtani. It's kind of in the format of a full art Pokemon card. So it's not Shohei Ohtani with Pokemon on it, but it's a nod towards Pokemon. And there were a couple other ones in that Topps Project 70, I think, that were kind of nods towards Pokemon. But yeah, check that one out. Like, it's probably as close as you'll get to a Shohei Pokemon card.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Topps. I don't see a reason why Pokemon needs to lend the IP to them for another set with how much they're just, why not do it themselves? And that's actually interesting to see if they do some kind of chromium finish on like this Mew and Mewtwo card that they teased, like that are chrome. There's so many different card technologies. I do dabble in sports a little bit, and the die cuts and the glossies and the chromes and the outbursts, and like they kind of, with the amazing rares, were very similar to like the color blasts that they do and stuff. There is so many things that they could do that they haven't tapped into yet. And then they could collaborate with Smash Brothers and Zelda and Mario again. Like, they don't.
There's so much.
It's endless.
We're so easy to please, and they have so many things in their back pocket that they could do that would make us lose our minds and empty our wallets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bullish.
PokePiece is asking, what's the best way to increase allocations? I noticed that I got more product after dropping thousands on Prismatic Evolutions reprint last month with my distro. Isn't everything just allocated now, Dan? There's no putting in orders anymore, right?
Oh yeah, I haven't put in a quantity request in quite some time. It's you buy what they offer to you, and then you pray to Arceus and you hope they smile down upon you.
Yeah. So considering sending 2 to 3 sets of first partner Kanto tomorrow at 50 a card or 65 a card, is that a good idea? If they're clean copies and you want to try to get a higher amount for them and sell them, you didn't say CGC or PSA. I mean, if you send a PSA, 2027, you'll get them back. So who knows?
The biggest thing that I would ask is, like, why this weekend and why not a month ago? Because I did send some a month ago at 100 and I forget what I paid exactly. I paid a lot per card. Maybe it was 90, but it was probably, I think it was like 120 or 150. I think a lot of people this weekend are going to be sending first partner cards in bulk, in 50, in 40, in 60. And it's like, I would lean towards sending them at 80 if I'm going to send them. That's me. That's one guy's opinion. But like, all that said, I'm likely not sending any new ones this weekend because I already did all mine the first week.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because now Series 2 and Series 3, I mean, you won't be seeing those cards graded probably until 2027, unless the couple brave people that want to send,
I
Mudkip
might be that brave person.
and
The
Greco
Mudkip
and
though, the Mudkip is the one. I'm gonna
yeah,
go hard on Mudkip
we
because
we we ha-
it's got him on it.
yes, yeah, yeah. Well, no,
I think it's
isn't
Mudkip,
that
right?
no Mudkip's Gen 3? We haven't seen Mudkip yet. It's Totodile, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think it's
Totodile.
Totodile.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes,
Yeah,
yep. So Series 2, we've seen the cards. Those come out in a week or two. Yeah. Mudkip and Froakie, they're gonna be Series 3, but some of those more popular ones. But why would you not send it as a set and try to get
and
the sequential if you can? I mean, it's dumb, but why not? But
and I'm
yeah,
not gonna do
they're
this
great cards.
myself. I bet you some people, so like for cards that are coming out within a week or two, some people are going to enter those into bulk submissions this weekend without physically having the cards in hand because you have 30 days to get them in the mail.
It's
There will
true.
be people that will pre-enter cards that don't yet exist in their hands, and that so PSA will get a little bit of muddy data. There might be a million cards entered this weekend that
Yeah,
people ultimately decide to not send.
that's true because you can cancel. Yeah,
Why not just fill?
interesting.
Oh,
Why not?
I might get 100 Celebrations Charizards in the next 2 weeks. Let me just do a submission for that and do a submission for that, and then see what I send.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't think of that because you have 30 days to ship or like receiving. Sometimes they take 30 or 60 days to receive it, so
Yep.
they can't go by that. That's very interesting. Yeah, that's
I think the key is getting it delivered to them within 30 days, which
yep.
every time there's been a price increase like this, I know people that have done exactly what I've just said. I don't think I've ever done that myself, but I bet you there will be people doing that with like First Partner Series 2 and just some other random cards because it's like you've got optionality. Once you create that submission, you have optionality. As far as I understand, I don't think there's a punishment for like submitting one and then not ever sending it. I don't think I've ever done it, but I think if you do a 200 card submission and then never ship it, you just don't get charged, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, knowing PSA, who knows? But you should. Yeah, you should.
I'm not advocating for doing that, but I just know people will be doing that.
Dan, they stole cards that were for charity for kids. So I mean, but
Oh,
do you think Pokemon will ever do serialized cards? Yes, but not anytime soon. The hobby could not handle it. Could you imagine like a one of one gold trimmed? I mean,
bid $500,000.
oh no, I think it would be if the
Oh, it would
one
be
ring goes for
yeah,
2 million bounty. Some Post Malone, Posty, or Steve Aoki will put a
I'm only
5
saying
million.
500K because that's like 20% of what it would likely go for, or if
Yeah,
not more.
right. Well, that's true. You're a perma bear, so you always
I'm
go.
very
Yeah,
conservatively bidding a number that will make me filthy rich flipping it.
yeah. Right.
Uh,
Oh man,
but
but
I agree. Long enough timeline, yes, but like not anytime soon is my take.
yeah, agreed. Yep, agreed. But well, I'll tell you what. With that, we are at the end of the chat. Dan, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about or go over? Or?
No, I appreciate you having me on. It's always fun to chat Pokemon with different people, get different perspectives, and definitely been a fun chat as always. Thank you, chat. Did have to drop the ban hammer on your first person there, but
Yeah, two of them actually. But I don't know what that was about, but hey, that's we made it, I guess.
appreciate everyone's interactions that didn't require a ban hammer after said interactions.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, go follow Dan if you don't for sure. The best business channel there is out there. Always gives it to you straight. So yeah, appreciate everybody hanging out, and yeah, we'll catch you all tomorrow.
Make sure you like and sub on your way out.